working on a 2013 Jetta. Customer complaint is that the AC doesn't work, power mirrors don't work, and the horn doesn't work. I'm not going to worry about the horn right now, I already figured it out anyways. But right now the main concern is that the mirrors don't work and the AC doesn't work. So what I found before is there was a fault stored for this AC pressure sensor, and the fault was open circuit. So I did a voltage check on it, and I had no voltage there, and ultimately at the end I found a blown fuse. It was a 5-amp fuse. Along with the 5-amp fuse, you can see that the mirror adjusting switch is also there. So I fixed two problems in one by putting the fuse in. Now, I gave the car to my service writer, and he came back saying that he tried to wash the car, and right before he started to wash it, he turned the air on, and it didn't work. So what I did is I went back and found that this 5-amp fuse is blown again. So we have a short on our hands. Okay, so I have a printout of this fuse. The fuse that we're looking at is SC13, and it is inside the SC box, which is inside the car. And I have my fuse buddy hooked up with my low amp clamp around it, and I need to know everything that's on this circuit. Some of this stuff doesn't apply, but we need to know what's all on this circuit. We just want to start with what's easiest. He said that his mirrors weren't working, so what we want to do is look at the amperage on the circuit while we are using these components. So I just have my mirror switch here, and just want to show you that the mirror works. Everything's working right now. I put another fuse in. Everything is working. You can look at the passenger side. And you just want to look at amperage in the circuit. So right now I'm going to operate my driver's side mirror, and 0.12, 0.16, really nothing. So what I was hoping for was, maybe one of these motors was seizing up, causing the amperage to jump up. This is only a 5-amp fuse on this circuit, so any mechanical resistance is going to increase the amperage. Mechanical resistance increases amperage, electrical resistance can decrease amperage. So I'm operating my mirrors, and amperage is pretty low. That's not going to blow my fuse. Everything's still working. Okay, so I'm just going to operate the AC button, turning the AC on and off, and I hope to see an amperage spike. So my AC's on now, turning it off, turning my AC back on, turning it off. No real change. Now, just to make sure that my circuit's still good, you can see that my mirrors are still working, so that tells me my fuse is still good. That's going to eliminate, let's see, so on this list we can eliminate our climatronic control module, which would be for our AC and our high pressure sensor. If those were shorted out or a wire was touching or something, we would have seen that, and we would have popped our fuse and nothing would work again. So it's another thing. I'm sitting in the car and my backup lamp switch, so I'm just gonna put the car in reverse, and huge amperage spike. Not in reverse, in reverse. Gonna take it back out because that's probably gonna pop our fuse if we keep it on there. Let me see. So I'm gonna leave it in there. 3.7. Just gonna operate our mirrors real quick. See, still good there, but this is where our problem is gonna be. Back in reverse, out of reverse. So I'm just going to shut the car off. And I'm going to leave it in reverse and just go see what our bulbs look like. Make sure our bulbs are working. So both of our reverse bulbs are nice and bright. Nothing dim, not seeing anything there. This 3.35 amps is too high on this circuit just for some reverse lights. I'm just going to go back in the trunk and take a peek around and see if there's anything obvious before I start pulling bulbs and checking all that. So let's go back to the trunk. Alright, so back here in the trunk, and the first thing I noticed back here was the harness being exposed here. I have seen on other cars where some bulbs don't work in the rear and the harness gets destroyed along here, but this is a different setup. So what I want to show you, what I found here, is right here. Right in there. There's some shorted wires right here. What I'm going to try to do is wiggle these around and get my amp meter to change. You can see there's some black marks where it was arcing. But look at that. Right there. Little corrosion. I'm just going to wiggle these around and see if my amp meter changes. I'm just going to wiggle these wires around and try to get this thing to arc and get our amp meter to change. I can get a good shot of this. I'm 100%. This is where our problem is. But I just want to get it to arc and make my amp meter jump around. That'd be cool. This is hard to hold a camera and do this. Wish I could get this thing to arc again. I heard it. Try to get this thing to get it to arc. Maybe if I put it in reverse a few times back and forth, try to get this amperage to spike up. Just gonna wiggle these around, try to get my fuse to pop or my lights to go out. Just to verify this is where my problem is. I mean, I feel confident this is where it is. I'm just worried that that amperage is still a little too high. So I'm gonna get my bulbs to go out. I don't think it's gonna happen. This blue wire here that's chafed is my power feed to my reverse bulbs. And if that were touching my bulbs, should go out. And there we go. Alright, so this blue wire right here. Focus that camera a little bit better. This blue wire right here is the power feed to my reverse bulbs. Which is right here. See, my bulbs are out. Amperage is now down because my fuse is popped. I'm now okay with that 3.3 amps because I finally duplicated the problem. So I'm gonna fix these wires and I'm gonna call it a day. First I need to get an approval on it, but sometimes with these problems, that's what you got to do. You have to duplicate it, and I feel pretty comfortable with this one. So, see what the customer wants to do. Maybe I can get an after shot. If not, I still feel pretty confident. So, I'm gonna call this one fixed.